Hi, I'm Allison from Move Smart and Boomerang, and today we're going to do two versions of a mini lunge. So we're going to start with something softish under your knee, partly because it's nice for your knees, but partly because it makes the movement a little bit more accessible for most people, getting that knee a little higher. Take your other foot forward enough of your knee that you're going to have some space to move. And then settle your pelvis. Do a little shifty shift from side to side, and then ease your pelvis forward towards your knee. Your knee will bend so that you get a rewarding sense of stretch in the front of your hip and thigh. Nothing so extreme that it makes you tense up, and then ease back. Slide forward and ease back. So for this version, we are allowing your spine, your pelvis, and your thigh to all move as an integrated team. So we're getting a little bit of the fascial connection, the muscle to muscle connective tissue connections from your chest and your ribs through your abdominals, through your pelvis to your thigh to your knee. Again, this should be, we're looking for something that feels good. So for you, that might mean you're only going to here. We don't want to have any sense of compression or unpleasantness in your lower back or across the back of your pelvis in your SI joints. So if something about this is not feeling great, just keep making it smaller until it does feel all right. If you can't come down on your knee at all, then you can do this with your knees up off the ground. So then you can, and you do that on both sides, of course. So then we do a different version that's really tiny. This time, you're going to set yourself up, let your head, your neck, and your chest roll forward slightly. So we're not going into a great big curve, but just to avoid a big rib pop. And then engage your stomach muscles and curl your pubic bones towards your belly button. So you're getting this little bit of low ab work. And for some people, just doing that is going to start to provide a stretch in the front of your hip and thigh, and that might be as far as you need to go. You might just curl your pelvis forward and relax. I don't know if you can see my pelvis moving. Curl your pelvis forward, flattens out your lower back, tucks your butt under, rolls your pubic bones forward, and it opens the space at the very front of your hip. So this is much more precise than the first one that was addressing this whole line. So if you can get your pelvis tucked and that doesn't put you into a 5 out of 10 stretch right away, then you add this teeny weeny bit of extra slide forward. So the goal is to move your pubic bones forward first. So they're leading, right, the center of the bottom of your pelvis, rather than your head, your neck, your shoulders, your ribs. Any of this part being the leading motion is not going to give you that extra stretch in the front of your hip. So tailbone curl, hold the tailbone curl, ribs dropping down towards your pelvis, little teeny tiny stretch. And again, we're not looking for this to be a 9 out of 10. You could feel your glutes firing here to help press your pelvis forward in space. That would be fine. And of course, once you've done this, then you go and you do the same thing on the other side. So you bring your knee down, you bring your other knee forward. That can be part of the exercise, right? Is this shifting from side to side. So take your other knee, your other foot forward enough that your knee is reasonably open, and ease your pelvis forward, allowing your spine, your pelvis, and your leg to all move as a team, making sure that you don't have any discomfort in your lower back or across your SI joints. If you want to step this up, you can add arm positions. You could reach your arms back behind you, but you are still trying to keep this idea of connecting from your chest to your ribs, to your spine, to your pelvis, and you're moving at whatever rate is good for you. No matter how small that might be, gradually your range will increase. And then reset, bring your other foot back a little bit. Engage your lower abdominal muscles. Think about pulling your pubic bones up towards your belly button and dropping the base of your ribs down towards your belly button and keeping that connection stable as you do this little tiny pull forward where you really want to think of it's your pelvis traveling forward in space, just a little bit, potentially getting some sense of glute activation, and there is this lengthening of your lower back. So again, we don't want there to be any strain, stress, or discomfort in your lower back, across your SI joints, in your neck. All we're looking for is this fairly targeted stretch right in the very front of your hip and thigh on the down knee side. So there you go. Give those a try. You can certainly cycle back and do each of those 2 or 3 or even 4 times per side, and it should shift and change each time you do it. Maybe get smoother, maybe get easier, maybe your range increases, maybe the way you feel the stretch changes or where you feel the stretch changes. So give it a try. Give me a holler in the comments below if you have questions, and of course, as always, like and subscribe. See you next time.